It's the Ticket Plug. We've been running an online ticket business for over a decade, and now we've created an easy way for you to do the same thing through our private ticket resale community. Joining our community will give you a way to flip your bread and generate profit income consistently. We provide you with all the tools, training, and resources needed to start your life-changing online ticket business. Zero experience needed. To join our ticket resale community, go to thetickettrap.com. Again, go to thetickettrap.com. That's thetickettrap.com.
Get that late night tap in. Let's get that late night tap in with the fam. Let me start recording. What's going on with y'all, man? Glad to have y'all in here. It is late, but we're up. You know how we get it in. Glad to have everybody tapping in with me. Shout out to all the regulars up in here. Hope you guys had a great week. I hope you guys are going to have a great weekend. I'm chilling. I'm up in Lake Tahoe right now with the family, chilling. And Lake Tahoe, this is like Nevada, Northern California. I was thinking about going up there to the capital of Sacramento tomorrow. I'm trying to work my schedule around. I don't know if I can make it up there because a lot of people are going up there tomorrow to holler at them about the reparations bill that they're kind of playing games with. We had a lot of people calling up there making a lot of noise. So they've been trying to kick the reparations bill, kick that can down the road and stall, and we're trying to hold them to task on that. So tomorrow, people still need to make calls. If you are in California, try to make it up there. I'm going to see what I can do to get up there because I'm about 2 hours away from Sacramento, but I got the entire family and we got a lot of stuff going on because we're in the middle of a vacation. But this whole thing came up with the California Reparations Task Force. They're trying to pull a bait and switch. They're trying to put some language in the bill that would say study. They're trying to HR 40 it, and we're like, no, we're not going to do that. They're really trying to do some stall tactic stuff, and they're getting their Negro flunkies to try to do it. So we're looking at everybody and we're calling them out and we're staying on top of it. So we need people to really keep eyes on what they're trying to do out here in California with the reparations bill, because we've been working very hard to get the language right and get things passed on certain levels. And you got people playing little games here. So we're going to keep our eyes on it. Other than that, if they are playing games with our reparations, man, we're going to be like, hey, man, the Democratic Party, we should abandon them altogether for playing games like this, especially out here in California, where these people are giving our tax dollars to damn non-citizens. But when it comes to our money that is owed to us, now they want to play these little janky games, and these are the Democrats doing it. See, we got to really hold the Democrats to task. And a lot of people, what they try to do when we criticize the Democrats, they try to play this deflection game where the Republicans, they ain't gonna give y'all no reparation. The Republicans ain't gonna do it. If anybody gonna do it, it's the Democrats. Well, we've been voting for the damn Democrats for the last 60 years, damn near exclusively, so they owe. We've been sitting here under this benign neglect program under the Democrats. So, yes, we are really holding the Democrats to the fire because they owe and they should be stumping for our reparations more than anybody, as much as we supported the Democrats over the decades. They've been sitting here just saying, "Hey, just wait a little longer. Your day is coming. Just keep on waiting. I know we ain't gonna give you nothing now. We got to prioritize these immigrants now. Just keep on waiting. We got to, not this year. We got to prioritize the LGBT. Just keep on waiting. We can't do it this time. We got the Jews and the Native Americans. We got to prioritize them. Y'all just keep on waiting. We got you. We ain't forgot about you. Oh, we can't do it now. We got to stop Asian hate thing going, so we got to prioritize the Asians. You know, they've been playing that game just nonstop. It's a plethora of kicking the can down the road. And when do we say, hey, man, enough is the damn enough? Hey, we've been supporting all of your policies for all of these years. You owe us. The Democrats owe us. That's why we're really bringing it to them. I don't want to hear about, well, Trump ain't going to do, the Republicans ain't going to do nothing. No, no, no. That's not the answer. Because, yeah, if we wanted to, we can start establishing a relationship with the Republicans. But the Democrats, we have a long standing relationship with them, and they owe. And we have to not be afraid to say, hey, man, y'all need to break bread. We're not going to play these games. And these shaming tactics are not going to work. These people are still trying to run these shaming tactics on us. Speaking of shaming tactics, they've been getting these D-list celebs or these falling off celebs to try to use their shaming tactics on us, like Uncle Lizard Luke. And Uncle Lizard has blocked me. I just noticed tonight, right before I went live, Uncle Lizard has me blocked on Twitter now. That's interesting. He he brought all the heat to himself. I didn't do any. I clowned him and responded to his randomly attacking me. I guess the DNC gave him some talking points to attack me. I lit him up, on my YouTube channel. I've never really at him. I don't tweet at him. But so many people got on his bumper. He tried to attack me, and he didn't realize all the support that I got. So people start lighting his ass up. They start bringing up his alleged domestic violence, and people start pulling up all the videos and clips and articles of his daughter talking about abuse, and other people who work with him talking about abuse. And they start finding his son running around out there in Florida that he damn near, I think he might have disowned his son. His son's out there doing a gang of crime, Luther Campbell Jr. So people are pulling up his damn resume and his track record and pulling up the receipts on him. Yeah. The day of these tethers just running amok around us and just talking greasy, those days are over. He didn't expect the backlash, so he blocked me. And he just lying and lying on Minister Farrakhan and trying to bring Farrakhan into his foolery. So very interesting. He gonna block me. I didn't. Hey, you brought the heat to yourself, brother. Uncle Lizard, you brought it to yourself. Trying to stump for Kamami. And it's funny. People are low key. There's a couple of people trying to explain for Kamala Harris in that crap show interview she did with CNN. Let's be real. Do we have any Kamala supporters, any Democrats in here? Let's just be real. That woman crapped her pants on that CNN interview. That was a train wreck, and they're trying to find a way to spin that. That CNN interview that Kamala Harris did was a travesty and a train wreck, and they know it. They know it was a train wreck. The woman was sitting up there. She couldn't even sit up there by herself. She needed Tim Walsh sitting up there with her as a support animal. And even with the questions asked, and the questions were primarily softball questions. She was still bumbling softball questions in a pre-recorded interview. I heard that the whole interview was like, it's really 40 minutes, but they only showed 18 minutes of it. I wonder what was cut out. So this woman, and she was looking drunk and just out of it. Something's off with Kamala. Let's just be real. Something's off with her. Something is very off with Kamala. That woman ain't fit to lead nothing. Let's just be honest. Nobody's hating. Something's off with her. And again, she was selected by them. The public didn't select Kamala Harris. The public didn't select her. There was no primary where people got to decide. They said, "Hey, this is going to be the Democrat running person, and you better support it, especially if you black." I'm like, what? Notice that gaslighting thing. And I just saw another video. There's another video of her. Have y'all seen the new video? There's, we've already seen the video of her talking about making greens, and now there's a new one. There's a new video where she's talking, and it's clearly set up. They didn't set up. It's not even an interview. She's talking to some black lady, and Kamala is explaining to her how she make her greens. And it sounds so forced and contrived. I make my greens. I wash them in a tub. Okay. Then I put white vinegar on them. Okay. Then I put some pork fat in there and just let that simmer a little bit. And then I put some Tabasco sauce in there. Okay. But I make so many, I have to soak them in the tub. I'm not lying. I soak them in the tub. Oh, God. God, God. Woman, if you don't make you some damn biryani chicken and sit the down and get out of our damn face, man. I'm so sick of her cosplaying us with these janky ass recipes that don't even sound right. I'm so sick of it, dude. I'm so sick of it. I'm tired, man. And they're telling us we ain't really black if we don't support that. Come on, man. We foundational black Americans, we're sitting out here just minding our damn business. We're just minding our business, not saying nothing to nobody. We're just going to work and drinking our Kool-Aid and seasoning our gizzards. That's what that we're just doing what we do. And then all of a sudden they pop up, hey, black people, if y'all don't support Kamala, y'all hate black women. What? That's not a foundational black American woman. Oh damn! Why does it matter? Why that even matter? Nigga, you the one who came over here to us. They killed me with that gaslighting. Y'all come to us unsolicited. We didn't say nothing to you. We're here minding our business. Y'all come over here to us yelling at us about how black Kamala is and how we ain't shit if we don't support her. And we're like, well, she ain't. Is she really black? Oh, damn. What you mean? Blackness got rules? What y'all talking about? Y'all sound like the white man. Is y'all niggas MAGA? Is you MAGA? If you MAGA, just say you MAGA. I'm like, well, calm down, Democrat Shield. You came over here to me with all of the gaslighting. And then when we are not going along with your program, then y'all try to use shaming tactics on us. Y'all go to hell. All of you Democrat ops, go to hell. We don't owe none of y'all nothing. We're the only group they come at like that. They don't come at no other groups like that. They don't talk to any other groups like that. They don't gaslight other groups like that. They only pull that nonsense with us. And they can kiss my ass with all that. I'm good. Hold on. What's his brother name? Fantastic. Let's get on here, Fantastic. Oh, Fanatic. Okay. What's up, Fanatic? Brother, what's going on with your phone? All right, Mr. Fanatic. Something is happening with this brother's phone. I don't know what's going on with him.
Oh my God.
You all right, man?
Freak.
Brother, you all right? Is this nigga in the middle of doing an OnlyFans video for Andrew Gillum or something? What you trying to do, bro? I mean, you can't multitask, brother. You got to tell Andrew Gillum you're going to send him that video in 30 minutes, brother. And put your leg down. All right? This nigga taking pictures of his gooch. All right, let me get some more folks in here. We got a lot of people in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We are in here heavy, doing what we do. Let me see. Let's get Fanatic. You back in here, man? Let's get Fanatic back in here. Fanatic, what's up, brother? All right, Fanatic. I do. Okay, look, Fanatic. I don't know why you keep requesting to get up, and then you don't say nothing. And you got some. I told you, man. Do your OnlyFans stuff later, bro.
Be heard everywhere else. Tess, you can't hear me?
I can hear you, brother. What's going on?
Wow, I can't understand why that would happen. All right, look, so we've had conversations before. We've been on the same page a few times. Lately, I think things have kind of changed pretty dramatically. I think
I don't know you, brother. I don't remember you. When did I talk to you before, sir?
just on your space on a few occasions.
Were you using a different name or something? I don't remember
I've
you,
used the
brother.
name Fanatic forever. Um,
Okay, I don't remember talking to you, brother. But go
it's
ahead.
okay. What I would like to do is I would like to have a conversation about the electability of Trump and Kamala Harris and about what would be best for Black folks. Um,
Okay.
and Obviously,
I'm assuming you sound like a Kamala supporter, right?
I've never been a Kamala supporter ever. I've been a very
Really?
vocal anti-Kamala person. However,
Oh, really?
the problem that I'm seeing now is that I'm starting to see a lot of Black leaders leaning towards Trump. And I think we can criticize the Democrat Party. That's the only thing I've ever used my platform for, has been to criticize the Democrat Party, specifically because I'm a Black advocate. I advocate for the progression of people of the lineage. And what I feel like is now I'm starting to see people what to support Trump. The first person I saw doing it quite a while ago was Marcel when Trump made the statement that what did he say? He said black people that we built the country. Of course, he immediately followed that and said, I mean, we all built it, but you guys had a part. And so when he said that, people started like advocating and supporting Donald Trump. And of course, that was alarming to me because I think that Donald Trump has
But
obviously been harmful.
Marcel is not a Trump supporter though. That's we're going to be honest.
Okay.
Marcel is not a Trump supporter. He's not going to go out and vote for Trump.
Okay.
All right. So y'all got to stop doing that. If somebody criticizes Kamala, y'all say, "Well, you sound like MAGA," because people try to say I'm a Trump supporter. I'm not voting for anybody. I'm not supporting anybody. I'm not voting for anybody unless they have a black agenda, unless there's a package for us, something for us. And nobody has done that yet. So nobody can label me or anybody else a Trump supporter if we're not saying we're voting for Trump. But go ahead.
Oh, listen, then I mean, we might be on similar pages, more similar than I thought. It sounded like I started looking at your platform and it felt like you were starting to, uh, you know, praise Trump for various things that I don't think that he deserves credit for. It seemed like you were speaking somewhat positively of him. And of course, I do make a distinction between the idea of criticizing Kamala and supporting Donald Trump. I think that's where I stand. I obviously have always been incredibly critical of Kamala Harris. I think I'm from the state of California, as you are. So for
Mhm.
me, I understand the damage that she's done. But no one would ever accuse me of speaking positively of Trump because I don't believe Trump has ever done anything positively for us. But it seems like
Mhm.
you've given him some credit on various occasions. And I think that's where I started running into some problems.
Like what? Like what have I given him credit
I
for?
feel like I've heard you mention the First Step Act or something like that.
No,
You never
no,
mentioned that.
no. I haven't given nobody credit for no First Step Act. No, I haven't.
You know what? Okay, so maybe I'm misconstruing something. What I would
Right.
like to do is, if I can, because I'll just go through the content and find the things in particular that I disagreed with, because I do remember
Right.
them. I didn't come prepared like to have a full on debate now. But what I was going to ask you was, would you be willing to have that conversation? Would you be willing to have that debate
Well,
on your
we're,
show?
we're having. No, no, we're talking now. You don't. I don't have to. Make it all performative. We're just talking casually now. Even with Trump, the only thing that I give him credit for, Trump didn't put any policies out to actually harm foundational Black Americans as a group. I give him. I mean, yeah, that's as much credit as I can really give. But the Democrats and Kamala, these guys, Biden, they've actually put policies together that has kicked us in the
Oh,
ass.
for sure.
So that's the difference.
Okay, so
you know,
I agree with that.
yeah,
The reason why I say I almost want to redo it is because again I didn't come prepared to have the conversation, and I feel like right now I can't pin you on these are the things that you said that have been pro-Trump that have given me the impression that you've supported Trump. This is because what I've seen with a lot of FBA is it sounds like pro-Trump rhetoric. I'm finding that a
Mhm.
lot more frequently, and I've always said from the very beginning you can be completely critical of the Democrat Party, but it doesn't mean that you become a Republican. Republicans have been
Right.
in staunch opposition to all progress for Black folks. And when we talk about reparations, and Donald Trump has at his rally, Kennedy makes the statement. Oh, the Democrats are pro-crime. They want to give the people who do the crime what you got. and he's talking about black people there, and he's saying that at a Trump rally. So then I would say that any person that is actually for black progress and understands the necessity of reparations in order to close the racial wealth gap, then we got to recognize that that's not going to come from Trump. It obviously isn't going to come from Kamala Harris, as she made the statement, I'm not going to do anything that's only going to benefit black people. We get that. I think that that's a problem. And then lastly,
Right.
the idea about her blackness. I feel like that's something that it seems like people keep on having these dumb conversations about.
Because the Democrats keep bringing it up. That's them. They keep gaslighting us. Just like I said earlier in this broadcast, we're sitting around here minding our business. Then all of a sudden, some Democrat shills pop up. Hey, black people, y'all must hate black women if y'all don't support Kamala Harris. I'm like, what? She ain't from our lineage. Oh, damn, what does it matter? Why y'all talking? Then it gets into a gaslighting thing. And that's them bringing it up. They do the same thing that Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade do. They parade their son around in a dress and like, hey, look at Zaria, look at Zara, look at our daughter Zara. This is our daughter. Look at him. I'm like, okay, they got this boy in a dress. Oh damn! Why don't y'all just leave him alone? Damn, let our daughter be. What? You the one who came yelling at us about look at her, look at her, look at her. So they do the same thing with Kamala. They come around with her with these collard green recipes and all of this stupid ass shit. And then when we say, hey man, that looks weird. Oh damn, y'all blackness can't be trivialized. Y'all sound like MAGA. It's a bunch of damn gaslighting. It's them doing that. We are talking about policies. What is this woman's policies? This woman has told us with her whole chest what she ain't gonna do for black folks, but then they want to circle around and tell us that we owe her some type of black camaraderie. They can kiss all of our black asses,
Sure.
as far as I'm concerned. You feel me?
I mean, I agree. I don't. I Okay. So then let me just ask this very succinctly.
Go ahead.
Do you acknowledge that while she is obviously not ADOS, she is obviously not FBA, she is obviously not of the lineage, but she is indeed black?
I don't even believe that, to be honest, because her dad, his background is too damn mysterious, and they're so damn vague about it. And then she becomes black when it's convenient during election time. There's no evidence that her father has ever identified as black. That woman has identified as Indian all of her life. When CNN did a story on her, they were talking about her going to India with her family and them uncles. They all sound like they work at 7 a damn 11. There's nothing black about her or her family. All of this collard green stuff, I don't know what that is. That's performative and that's cosplaying. And that dad has been very vague and mysterious, and there's no proof that that man has ever identified as black. So until we see some proof, and the proof is not her going to some damn HBCU, I don't know what that woman is, but I do know that she is East Indian, and there might be something else going on, but I know she ain't foundational Black American.
Okay. And I think that's where I think a little bit of the issue is. I recognize again, she's absolutely Indian. She went on, I think her name is Mindy Kaling, whoever the comedian person, the actress chick.
Uh,
He went on her show talking about the curries and stuff and the diets and all of those things and talking about all these Indian things. When she got
right.
elected as vice president, Biden got on the stage and said, "This is the first Indian American person to be elected to this, whatever." And so I recognize that, but I do know that she is from, like, even since San Francisco, she's identified also as black. But here's here's the main point though. I don't think it's particularly important. It shouldn't have been. I feel like anytime that type of quote unquote gaslighting gets brought up, I think it's a simple solution. She's not of the lineage. But what the problem is, and I think, you having the platform you do, you should be able to easily recognize that there are plenty of your constituency that end up discrediting or dismissing the blackness, which I think becomes part of the conversation so that we can't even have realistic conversations about her policy. I can point out to you that the stuff that she's done that has been horrible, the stuff that came out of her office, and those should be the center of the conversation. But instead, Republicans keep on bringing up things about her blackness, as do Democrats, and the people of the people who identify as FBA refuse to acknowledge on plenty of occasions the fact that her black Jamaican dad would be black. While I can understand he's not of the
Yeah,
lineage, that doesn't mean that he's
that
not
man.
black. And it seems like there's an
That
unwillingness
man.
to clarify that.
No, no, no. That's conjecture. That man has never come out and identified as a black man. Never. And there's no documentation of that man being black. Jamaican is a nationality. It's not a race. There's a video now of an Asian woman talking about how Jamaica don't mean African or black. You got Asians and Indo-Jamaicans over there. They have all types of color um, um, systems and color designations over there in Jamaica and the Caribbean. So you have a lot of people in Jamaica who don't identify as black. That's a very common thing. And I think her dad is one of those people. They just try to use Jamaica as a Jedi mind trick to think that it's associated with black, and it's not. You have a lot of people over there who are not identified as black, and I think Kamala Harris's family is one of them. And her blackness is basically her going to a damn HBCU, and that don't make you black. Rachel Dolezal went to an HBCU. So they try to finesse us to vote for her because they know she has no policy. She's already told us policy wise what she ain't going to do for us. So, what they're trying to do, the Democrats are trying to gaslight us by saying that we owe her some kind of black camaraderie because she's the black auntie and she has collard greens and people twerking on stage with her, and they can go to hell with that.
I
You feel me?
Last thing I'm gonna say then. Look, I think we have that agreement. Again, I'm not all about the performative nonsense when she was talking about, oh, I did this for Kwanzaa, none of that stuff matters. Oh, I listened to Tupac while I was in college. I don't care. I smoked weed and I inhaled it and then lock niggas up for that. I don't care about all that. But these are the facts. A 2006 panel of black but for black leaders, she referred to herself as African American. Then that was in 2006, right?
I remember that. I saw that. And no, she was talking about African Americans are this and that, and we do that. And so yeah, she's playing to the crowd. Yeah, so she's kind of playing to the crowd.
Sure.
But
And so she's referring to herself as African American in order to play to the crowd. And her motives are always going to be sketchy to me because of what she's done with her positions of power. But the fact is, in that thing, she did say we when talking about African Americans. So she's referring to herself as an African American in 2006.
which she ain't even that. That's why she's not a foundational black
I
American.
agree she's not a foundational black American, but again, there's African Americans who immigrated from Jamaica, right, or from any other country in Africa, right, and those people would be African Americans while not being ADOS or foundational Black Americans or original Black Americans, whatever phrase you want to use. Like those people are not us, but they still are African American, and so
they still ain't us.
I agree,
right?
They're not us, and that's
why we reject the term African American. See, that's why we ain't playing that African American game. That's why we have to pin things down because everybody can kind of slip in and out. Elon Musk is African American.
Yes, he is.
You understand? That's why we ain't with none of that. We've made the distinction. We drawn the line in the sand. We're foundational Black Americans, man. And people who ain't from that lineage, we are not really looking at them as being our representatives unless they have a track record of really putting in work and standing 10 toes down on business when it comes to us. And she's one of those people who has not done that.
Okay, so this is where I feel like this is not me trying to gaslight, and this is not me trying to trying to play word games, but it seems like every single time I've acknowledged from the very beginning that she's not of the lineage, so she's not us. I've said that from the very beginning. But every time I
Right.
try to establish that she is obviously identified as Black, it seems like you're running from that. So in the 2006,
No, because I don't give a damn. If you're not from our lineage, whatever kind of black you identify as, that's inconsequential. You're not from my lineage, so I don't really want you to be a representative of my
but
lineage. Now, if you are a black Nigerian, you can be black as Akon, but go be black over there and represent your people. Go represent the East Indians and go represent
I'm
Jamaicans.
not saying,
Don't sit
but you,
right. That's what I'm saying.
okay, but you can still be a Black person and not be of our lineage, and that's the part
Tariq,
that
can
I'm
I
trying
ask
to
you a question,
establish
please?
that you refuse to acknowledge.
Oh yeah,
Can
you
I?
can. Of course, yeah, you can. I believe that. Yeah, yeah.
So,
There's black people. There's black people in Africa.
okay,
Yeah.
would that apply to her? Would she be a Black person that's not of our
No,
lineage?
no, because I don't believe that her dad has identified as black. I
Her
don't
dad
believe.
identified as a Black Jamaican. Do I need to find history of that?
Yes, you have to find history. There's no evidence of that whatsoever. There's no evidence that her father has ever identified as a black person.
On their
Zero.
census
None.
records, would they have identified as Black?
On, no, on the birth certificate of Kamala Harris, they have him listed as Jamaican. They don't have his race. And Judge Joe Brown talked about that. He said there was some kind of error that they made. Instead of putting his race, they put his nationality. His Kamala's mama, they put her race as Caucasian. Her mother's Caucasian on the birth
Yeah, because she's
certificate.
Indian.
Right, and a lot of Indians are classified as Caucasian. I don't believe that dad has ever classified himself as black.
Okay.
Ever.
So, but we do know that she has classified herself as black.
I don't see that. That's not even on her birth certificate.
Not on her birth certificate, but like we pointed out the 2006 interview,
She classifies herself as whatever's audience is in front of her. She's a damn East Indian. She's an Asian when it's convenient, and she's reluctantly black. Because that new interview that she did on CNN, when they brought up the nationality and race thing, she sidetracked that. She don't like saying that. She's never said out of her mouth, "Hey, I'm a black person." She's never said that.
But I just pointed out to you in 2006
No.
when she said
When they were talking about African Americans, she was like, "Yeah, a lot of African Americans do this and that, and we." She used the word "we," but just. It was very vague. It was a very vague thing that she said, but she's never said, "Hey, I'm a black person."
Let me quote it. She said, "What I suggest we do as African American is own this issue in law enforcement and then define it in the way that works for us, because it is a myth to say that African Americans don't want law enforcement." So in that point, she said we, and so that she's obviously referring to herself as African American.
And that was some conditional ass stuff where she was kind of vague with it and kind of playing to the crowd. You understand what I'm saying?
What's vague about saying we as African American?
Tariq, can I please ask him a question? I don't want
Go
to cut
ahead.
nobody off.
Go ahead.
Fanatic, what makes her black? What makes her black?
I would say, well, I mean, the fact that if she had a black dad from Jamaica,
what makes her?
I'm answering the question. I'm answering the question.
What would make her father black?
I would probably say, the same thing that makes anyone else black. Like when it comes to just the look of your skin, probably meaning that you long-term immigrated from Africa. You were either a slave brought to a place from Africa or something like that.
By that logic, then there's dark-skinned Asians and dark-skinned Indians. Does that make them black as well?
No, I also mentioned about something coming about a lineage to Africa. So those Indians don't have that lineage to Africa. Australian Aborigines don't have that lineage to Africa. You would need to be a descendant of Africa in order to be black.
But Africans don't even identify as black. Black melanated people didn't even start identifying as black. They were immigrants in America until after 1964.
Okay.
After the Immigration and Nationality Act. So you're wrong. Blackness is not a skin color. But just because you're a dark skin or you have melanin in your skin, that does not make you a black person. That's not what blackness is. So again, what makes her black? What makes her father black? Because Jamaica, as Tariq said, Jamaica is not a race. That is a nationality. You can be born in Asia and be a Jamaican citizen. So by definition, you would be a Jamaican citizen. You're not a black person.
Right. I'm not saying simply being Jamaican automatically makes you an African American.
But you brought it
I'm
up.
Sorry.
You said her Jamaican.
I'm sorry. If you would let me respond. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that being from Jamaica makes you black or makes you an African American. I am very well aware of the cultural and ethnic distinctions within Jamaica, and that there are obviously both Asian and white Jamaicans. Those people have always existed over there as well. So they were also enslaved at some points in times over there. So I'm aware of that history. So I wouldn't make that statement. What I did say was that her dad was a black Jamaican. What I did say was that
what
if they were
black Jamaican?
What I did say
what is
if you were to look at their census, it would also say that. And what I would say a black
where's the proof?
Okay, and what I would say there are two different questions coming at me. So let me answer one question at a time. Okay. The first question that you asked was what is a black Jamaican? A black Jamaican would be a Jamaican person who was a descendant from Africa. That's what makes a black Jamaican.
Musk you can be a white person and be a descendent of Africa. You realize?
I'm sorry.
All
yeah, you are right.
Africa are not black people. You can be African and be from somewhere else.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so let me make sure.
So your logic and your reasoning is not making sense here, buddy.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What you did was you pointed out a very specific nuance and distinction, and I will acknowledge your nuance. I'm sorry. I will acknowledge your nuance and distinction. So what you have the
continent.
You have Middle Eastern North Africans, and those people aren't necessarily Negroes. And then you have the people in South Africa, and then you have it wouldn't be the word that we're using. It seems like you're uncomfortable with my answers because you're interrupting every time I'm giving them.
No,
So
you're
you
just not
also
making
have,
sense. So
I
I'm
am
trying to
making sense, but
make you. I'm
if you
trying to
will
help you
allow,
out, but go ahead.
if you will allow me to finish my statement, you'll
Build
see it
that
makes
ditch. Go
perfect
ahead.
sense. Okay, thank you. I'll build the ditch, and then afterwards, then you point it out to me. Thank you. So what I was pointing
I
out
already
is
did.
there are, okay, thank you. So there are Middle Eastern North African people who we would obviously see that those people are not black, right? They are not Negroes. They actually have the same ancestries and some of the same DNA, the genealogy of people from the Middle East, right? Now, then you also have people in South Africa. Those people are obviously descendant from Europe, which is why they are also not Negroes. They are white. So then you have those people. But when you have the sub-Saharan Africans that are all Negroes, right? And I'm using that word Negro now because I'm obviously talking about a specific distinction within Africa. Because obviously, the more you zoom and the more you point out nuance and distinctions, and you're going to find some sort of discrepancies. So in this case, now I'm using the phrase Negro, which is interchangeable with black, which specifically refers to darker skinned people from the continent of Africa. And I'm saying that those people were the ones who were enslaved and brought around to the United States, to Jamaica, and to the Caribbean, etc. And there were some of them over in Middle East. And I'm saying that those Negroes, aka black people, the descendants of those Negroes are the people that would be black. So if you're a Jamaican that descended from the sub-Saharan Negroes in Africa, you would also be black. If you're I don't know, a Dominican who descended from the sub-Saharan Negroes in Africa, then you would be black. Now, of course, we have a very distinct lineage of ADOS people within the United States of America, or FBA, or original Black American, or whatever phrase you want to, the descendants of the lineage that were enslaved in America, and they are a distinct group of people. That is a distinct lineage. But overall, all people who descended from the Negroes in Africa are black.
Tariq, I'll land my plane after this. Those
Okay.
people did not start identifying with under the umbrella term of blackness until after 1964. Those people that you're talking about identify with their nationalities, and they identify with their tribes that they come from. An East African quick to tell you that they're not black. A Nigerian is quick to tell you that they not black. A Caribbean is quick to tell you they're not black. Blackness is not just your skin color. By the definition I brought, by the point that I brought up, which you agree with, skin color does not make you black, because by that logic, an Asian person is black as well. And then y'all like to use we all from Africa anyway theory. So by that logic, then that means if everybody from Africa, then that means everybody black. So your point isn't making no sense. I'll land my plane there. Appreciate you, Tariq.
Thank you, brother.
Tariq, if I could respond to that really quickly.
Go ahead.
So first off, I never made the stupid statement that, oh, well, we all came from Africa. Obviously, we know that some people came from the Caucasus Mountains, etc. So I'm not making that statement, and I would like to be beholden to my own words. Furthermore, it doesn't matter if other people identified with the racial paradigm which was created in the United States. So yes, I could obviously understand that people in Africa probably weren't using the phrase Negro or Black because those people weren't identifying with the racial paradigm. In the same sense that when you look at some like half of the names that happened over in Africa weren't even created by the Africans themselves. They were literally European colonizers giving them the name of Nigeria and Malawi, et cetera, et cetera. So ultimately, sure, maybe they didn't identify it as that. But what we can point out to is the fact that when it came to the U.S. Census, you had to put Black on your census because when they asked you for your race, you qualified as that. This is the same reason why we recognize that Jews are white, the same reason why we recognize that Muslims and Arab people, I'm sorry, not Muslims, but Arab people are white. There's a reason why we recognize that Latinos are white. The reason why we can see that is because that's what they put on their census, because they all fought for that whiteness. Blackness and anti-blackness has been always universal, has always been global. So I understand that maybe they didn't want to use the phrase Black, and that's why we have people saying stuff like, I'm not Black, I'm Dominican. It doesn't change the fact that we look at your skin tone, we know you descended from those people that were enslaved from Africa, and we know ultimately that when it comes down to your census, that the vast majority of them, the darker skinned ones, are going to be putting Black, and we know what their lineage was.
No, but a lot of them don't. See, that's the thing. A lot of people go out of their way to deny blackness, and they'll go out of their way to say, well, I'm not Black, I'm Jamaican. I'm not Black, I'm Nigerian. I'm not Black, I'm Somalian. We get the Somalis who call us up all the time sounding like white supremacists because they classify themselves as Caucasian on paper, just like Kamala's mama classified herself as Caucasian on paper. And there's a mindset that comes with that, and we don't have a shared camaraderie with that. That's why her dad, I've never seen any paperwork of that man identifying as Black, and I can almost guarantee that it doesn't exist because if it did, the Democrats would have brought it out already. And another thing, Kamala Harris, is a pathological liar. And that's another thing we have to keep in mind. That woman lies her ass off. She lies about everything. This woman, they're calling her out about lying about working for McDonald's. McDonald's called her ass out on that. This woman lied about listening to Tupac in the 80s when she was in college. The Gen Xer said, hey, wait a minute, the math ain't mathing. Tupac didn't have no album out in the 80s. So this woman, it's not past her to lie through her damn teeth. So if she's going to lie about little, small, mundane things, yeah, she'll lie and say, we African Americans, we this, we that. So yeah, we don't put anything past her. We just know she ain't from our lineage. She ain't a foundational Black American. And whatever else she wants to lie about, take that up with the other people you want to lie to, because we ain't buying it.
Okay, but that's a
But go
movement of the goalpost because originally the statement was
ahead.
that she needed to have identified as being black. Now that we point out that she did identify as being black, although or African American, which of course we know that those phrases can be by most people interchangeable. We know that she identified as that. Now that we're pointing it out, it's well, no, she's just a pathological liar, which I'm not even discrediting. I don't
Right.
trust this woman as far as I can throw her. So I'm not saying that she's not a liar. I'm saying simply that she did identify as black, and so I feel
But she's not from our lineage,
I
dude. That's what you
agree, but I haven't
okay.
argued that at
But
all.
so it's inconsequential if whatever blackness she tries to identify with, she ain't from our lineage,
But
and she should not be our representative. As she's already said, she's not going to do anything for our lineage. She's not going to do anything for
now,
us.
see, we can agree on that. I'm not saying that she's a representative of us. I'm not here to
Right.
endorse
So what
Kamala.
does what does all that other stuff mean? That's my thing. Once we've identified that these people are non-FBA, okay, go argue with your mama. That's what I tell them. Kamala can go argue with them over there. You ain't from our lineage, so I'm not really trying to hear none of that stuff. And she's already told us what she's not going to do for us. So game over for me. I don't want to hear nothing that she has to say as far as that.
Sure, but
Just like with Obama, he's not from our lineage. He ran around talking about the first black president, and we see what he's done for black people. Not a damn thing, but sat up here and let us get slaughtered. So that woke us up to the importance of lineage, having people who are part of the lineage be the representative. Because a lot of people who are not from our lineage, they don't have any type of conscience when it comes to the neglect that they inflict on us. And that's what the issue is.
I'm all for wanting people of our lineage to be representatives of us because I do believe that they can have our best interests. Not always. I mean, I've had these conversations with Jesse Lee Peterson. He clearly doesn't have our best interests. Then you got that dude that was running for freaking governor in California who got washed. The black dude. I can't remember it.
Larry
There
Elder,
we go,
yeah, yeah,
Larry
yeah.
Elder, who got washed, and he obviously doesn't have our best interest. So, I mean, it's not something I take for granted, but I do understand that yes, people who are more like who are of our lineage are more likely to identify and recognize the discrepancies and and disparities that have been created by policy. So I'm with that. I'm not saying that Kamala Harris has been in our best interest. That's not what I'm saying. It feels to me though that I have seen. It seems I've seen positive representations of who Trump is, right? And I don't see an equal pushing of that Trump is as equal a liar. It does seem like more and more FBA people are identifying with Donald Trump and being willing to support Donald Trump and willing to vote for Donald Trump. I've advocated from the very beginning.
And I can understand why. Do you understand why? I can understand
That's what I
why.
was getting at from the very beginning. No, I do not understand why anyone of our lineage would side with the person who literally voiced out loud. I mean, I'm sorry, who had at his rally voiced out loud that he specifically didn't want that we don't deserve reparations and that we're not owed anything, and that in calling us all criminals. Or I wouldn't want somebody supporting a man who did what he did with the Central Park Five. Yes, I understand.
Oh
Yeah, go ahead.
no, no, don't do that. Don't do that Central Park Five thing, because when they brought the Central Park Five out to the DNC and had them throw shots at Trump, um, that wasn't the move, because the Central Park Five, they were put in jail because of the damn Democrats. It was the Democrats who locked them up. It was the Democrats who lied. That was a Democratic thing that happened to those guys. That was all under the Ed Koch, I think that's his
Mhm.
name. Cuomo, the governor who
Mhm.
was building all those prisons at the time.
Yep.
Linda Feinstein, that was the woman, the prosecutor who actually unjustly put them in jail. She's the big Democratic donor. That was a Democratic movement putting the Central Park Five in jail. So for them to sit up here and try to point the finger, oh, it was really Trump. It was Trump. See, I don't let the Democrats get away with that garbage because, see, the Democrats do a lot of dirt and throw a lot of rocks and then hide their hand and point it at the Republicans. And I don't let them get away with that. They're just as complicit. So they can never, to me, use the whole Donald Trump put out an ad about the Central Park Five when it was the Democrats throwing those dudes under the bus.
Okay, so just to be clear, I'm not a Democrat, and I'm able to point out what Donald Trump did because I'm not really interested in the whataboutism, and I can equally hold both people accountable. I can easily recognize how the Democrats were absolutely the people who were responsible for basically railroading the Central Park Five. I can easily point that out. So then you wouldn't hear me supporting Cuomo. You wouldn't hear me supporting Koch. You wouldn't hear me supporting the district attorney who tried to sue the person for making that movie When They See Us and then ran, right? You wouldn't see me like supporting those people, but you would also not see me supporting the person who literally put out the ad, which also contributed towards the fervor that got those people that allowed them to be railroaded and maintains that position. He has never walked it back to this day.
Y'all not gonna blame that on Trump. No, they're not gonna blame that on Trump.
Wait, hold on. I'm not blaming everything else on Trump. I'm blaming specifically the ad on Trump because he's responsible because he paid for it.
No, but that ad didn't put them in damn jail, though.
I already said, I'm sorry, please don't misconstrue my words. What I said that it was the district attorney that's obviously responsible and the prosecutorial team that is responsible. I'm not discrediting that.
That was a Democratic
I said that. I agreed with that. However,
and you know, no, brother, because at the time, the Democrats were on this whole tough on crime wave.
Yep, started by Biden and Clinton. I agree. Right. But
around the same time Biden started putting that crime bill together.
Absolutely, which was disgusting. But again,
right. They're not going to point no fingers at no.
I'm not asking them to. I'm a person of the lineage, and I'm specifically pointing out what Donald Trump did. Now, you can say they don't have a right. I can agree with you. The Democrats, the people who did the work, those people, they don't have the right. I do.
This is another point, because I pointed out before, Donald Trump never put no policies, the key word is policies, together to harm Black people. Donald Trump has never did that. The only thing they can do is point out to an ad he put out. That's not a policy. The people who were putting the policies together against the Central Park Five and putting them in jail were the damn Democrats at that time. Okay, let's be very clear. That's what my argument is today. Policy-wise, the Democrats be kicking us in the damn ass. Trump has never put a policy to harm Black people in large numbers. He just hasn't done that.
I would say his tax reform absolutely harmed Black people in large numbers. But again, I think now you're moving the goalposts, because again, what I was talking about, I wasn't talking about a policy. What I was talking about, okay, that's a different conversation, but it seems like you're moving from the point that I made at the beginning. The point that I made first was specific.
Hold on, let me get started. A lot of people raising their hand. East Side, are you in here, brother?
Yeah, man, I'm in here, man. Hey, couple things I wanted to point out real quick. First, when a Caucasian fellow was talking about reparations and everything, one of the main things I noticed is that everything is a questionnaire when it comes to us getting our reparations. They don't question nobody else. Just, intense about, getting compensation. Another thing, if you notice, when they try to get us to back up, the pick size when it came to the war in Gaza, we didn't do that. So they moved on to the, first it was Ukraine, the Ukraine war. We didn't back that play. We also didn't back up the war in Gaza. Now they say, you know what? I know what'll get you Negroes excited. Let's go ahead and switch candidates on this presidential election and throw this, this so-called Black woman. Now we not backing that, here come that hate. And as far as what she said in 2006, think about when we were kids, in school, when they said, we need to put on our thinking caps. That was the teacher saying that. She was not a student. I'll land there.
There you go. There you go. Exactly.
So, yes. But again, I'm not the Democrats. I'm pointing out what Trump did with the ad. I'm pointing out that Trump has maintained to this day that he still believes that the Central Park Five are guilty, despite evidence that they are not. He has never walked that back. I didn't say it's a policy. That's your talking
Okay.
point. I never said
All
it was a
right.
policy. What I pointed out was that Donald Trump has displayed his racism by maintaining the fact that he's still holding the Central Park Fives accountable for something that wasn't even done by a black person. It wasn't even them, and he's still holding them accountable for that to this day. And so I'm pointing that out.
And
Talking about what the
still didn't put
Democrats did is a total non sequitur, and that's a whataboutism. I'm not talking about the
no,
Democrats,
it
and I'm
ain't.
not a
No,
Democrat. I've never voted for a Democrat.
no. Kamala and Biden and those guys having policies that harm us, that's not a whataboutism. You're not going to be able to point at Trump after you done put policies together to harm us, and they're harming us now. You're not going to point to some damn opinion that Trump had. That's his damn opinion. That didn't affect us. The policies that they have affect us, and that's what I'm concerned with. And Trump, that's the thing that bites them in the ass. They cannot point to a policy Trump put together to harm black
But
people.
I'm not
And
them. Why do you keep bringing up them? I'm talking about me. What I'm pointing out.
that's why people. That's why people, and I'm talking about general. I'm not talking because you giving your personal opinion. I'm talking about generally. People cannot point to a policy Trump put together to harm black people, and this is why a lot of black people kind of warm up to Trump more so than Kamala.
You give me 2 minutes, I'll find you a policy that Donald Trump did that specifically harmed black people.
No, it didn't. No, you can't find anything.
Okay.
And the fact that you need 2 minutes to find one, that's the point. You find, like you said something about some taxes. No.
Wait, hold on. So you're saying because I don't have the policy on hand right now that means that it must be a problem?
Right. That's not a policy that specifically harmed black people, like some kind of tax credit.
No, I didn't say it specifically harmed black people.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what Kamala and those guys are doing now. They're doing this immigration is specifically kicking us in the ass from all angles.
Sure.
Right.
Well, okay. See, I feel like now we're being a little bit loose with our words here, because while I can look at like Biden's crime bill, and I obviously recognize how it disproportionately harmed black people, when I look at that, I can see what that did to us, right? But we also see that, yes, there are some white people that also got hit by the 3 strikes law. There are some Latinos that also got hit by the 3 strike laws. So while it did disproportionately, it didn't exclusively. In the same way, I would point out that Donald Trump's tax plans didn't exclusively hurt black people, but they absolutely disproportionately hurt black people.
How so?
Well, because obviously we understand that trickle-down economics has never been effective. Any sane economist will tell you this. And when you're giving all of these tax breaks to the richest and you're removing things like the child tax credits and things like that, then obviously you understand why that would be harmful towards the more impoverished folks. It would be obviously more harmful disproportionately to black people.
That's too much of a reach.
It's a reach? Wait,
that's a major reach. That didn't harm black people.
So you're telling me that no economist would be able to point out that the economic impact of Donald Trump's tax plan did not disproportionately hurt black people?
No, it didn't. That's too much of a reach.
Okay, that's your opinion. I'm sure that I'm right there. And we can look at the COVID disaster, and we can see that the COVID disaster obviously disproportionately impacted black people. And the COVID disaster was clearly because obviously black people are hyper overrepresented within the service sector within this country. And obviously the people who are the service sector were more likely to be considered to have a
what
jobs.
Policy that COVID is not a policy. That was a disease that just popped up. That's not a policy. What are you talking about?
Well, yes, but what Donald Trump did was he used the bully pulpit to decry the policies of the people who were trying to lock down, who were trying to prevent this thing from spreading. He was dismissing and denying the impact of what COVID was going to be for fear of it impacting the economy. And so his blunder there is what negatively impacted black Americans the most, considering the fact that we were more overrepresented within the service sector. Which part of what I just said wasn't factual? Name the part that I said that wasn't factual.
Everything because Trump put them stimulus checks out there and that helped people. And that's a
different statement. But was what I said true though? Because I feel like you're not addressing what I said.
Why the Democrats be trying to explain about the stimmy checks? Them Donald Trump stimulus checks popped out there. So yeah.
Okay, so we can talk about the Donald Trump stimulus checks and the Democrats. And wait, hold on. I do not want to sit here and defend the Democrats here because that's what's going to have to happen. But in reality, the Democrats were the ones that voted for the stimulus checks, and the Republicans voted against it. So even if you were going to give credit to Donald Trump for that, that was the Democrats, whom I recognize weren't acting in our best interests.
But Donald Trump signed off on it. Donald Trump put them on out there. Those were those stimulus checks had Donald Trump's name on it. All right.
So because he had his name on it, we're going to dismiss the fact that the Republicans voted against it and that the Democrats wanted it.
Yep. Because when the Republicans do something and the Democrats, and it's somewhat constructive. The Democrats try to take credit, but when the Democrats can't do anything, and when we say, hey, we need something from the Democrats, they sit up here and say, well, it's damn, it's the Republicans behind the scenes. They stopped us. We couldn't do it because of them. So they try to get credit and then deny credit. They are all over the place. But it was Donald Trump sending out those damn stimulus checks, and the Republicans and the Democrats have been trying to spin that for the last few years.
Okay.
And they can't.
That's crazy. I mean, I feel like I said my piece on that. Let's talk about opportunity zones. Did those negatively impact Black people?
Opportunity zones were nothing burgers.
They were nothing burgers, but what they did effectively was they allowed people benefits in investing into Black neighborhoods, which of course ended up creating more gentrification and priced Black people out of their homes. There are plenty of studies that have obviously proven that opportunity zones led to more gentrification, which obviously mostly hurt Black people. Or is that a fact or not?
No, that's not really a fact, because that's the Democrats, man. Most of those areas, those are liberal whites going into those areas. If we're going to go there,
I agree. And then Black people are disproportionately gentrified by it.
And that's because of that's the damn Democrats.
Okay.
You put it on them.
Okay. No. I would put. You talked about policy. And so if I'm going to point the finger at anybody, the person who had the policy that allowed those liberals, those white liberals, as you were saying, to move there would be Donald Trump. He created the policy for the opportunity zones, which allowed them to invest there, which of course made white liberals move there, which ended up creating more displacement and gentrification in Black neighborhoods.
So the fact that you would have to find some type of third generation harm to Black people because of a policy shows that it's not really the policy. You understand? It has to be some type of third generation indirect harm that's done. You understand? The Democrats are putting direct harm at our ass. It's not third generation. It's not secondary. They are putting policies right now that directly knocks us in our ass, and they know it. You understand?
Okay. So now it seems like you're moving the goalposts because
some inconsequential gentrification because of a policy that affected this group over here. Then it bounced around a couple of generations there. No,
generations.
That's not the same thing. Generations, meaning that it's a secondary impact. It doesn't directly impact anybody. There's consequential impacts of it. That's what I'm saying. So you're trying, the fact that you got to reach, like you say, well, Donald Trump stopped environmental zones so people couldn't grow trees, and now Black people didn't have nowhere to breathe. Okay, that's really what you're doing.
That's not what I'm doing. What I'm talking about is
real. You're making these reaches that's so damn indirect.
Okay.
It's not. You got to do the fact that you got to do all of these twists and turns and reaches in order to find that policies that Trump had negatively impacted Black people generations down the line after you twist and turn. That kind of proves the point, brother.
Okay, so let me just make sure. Let me see if I'm making sure that I'm twisting and turning here. So it sounds like
you gotta, the fact that you gotta go around the world in order
around the world. Let's see if I could be really direct real quick, okay? What the opportunity zone did, it specifically provided an incentive for investing in Black neighborhoods. And then as the investor, that's what we can claim, but we obviously, any person could have seen that wasn't going to happen. And so then, I got you. But hold on, see, I'm trying to be very direct, and you're not allowing me to.
But you got to put it all in context. The opportunity zones was supposed to be in areas where Black people are, and they was going to give people opportunities to build businesses there that would help people in those communities.
Okay, so I got you. So that's what he claimed the intention was. Although I think any sane economist would have told you that would lead to gentrification. So what it was simply a policy that allowed for tax incentives to invest into these neighborhoods. And of course, we knew, and as any sane person would have seen, as soon as those investments started, gentrification and displacement happened, as always does. How is that indirect? And tell me where I'm reaching
because gentrification was already damn happening. It wasn't because of the opportunity zones.
Did opportunity zones expand the gentrification and displacement?
the gentrification was already in damn place, and that was under the Democrats. And it's the Democrats that were putting the policies of gentrification in place, and they were the ones gentrifying the community. So you cannot put that on Trump. Y'all can't put all this
That's
stuff
so
on him.
funny. Okay, so and then another thing that he
Y'all,
did.
because the Democrats, that's what I'm saying. The Democrats do all of this weird, wicked stuff.
I'm
to
not a
black people.
Democrat, sir.
I'm just, but you're using Democrat talking points.
I'm not using a Democrat talking point. I'm using a talking point. I'm using a talking point developed from a person who studied the information. Now, if it happens to be that there, because
hold on, because what happens, y'all do again,
y'all, I'm not a Democrat, sir.
You're using Democrat talking points where y'all blame Trump for everything.
I'm not blaming Trump for everything. I can blame Biden for his crime bill. I'm
not even a Trump defender. I'm not even.
Well,
I'm not a Trump.
Well, you listen to me. When I point out to you how opportunity zones impact black people, and then you point out to his intention, that's a defense of Donald Trump when Donald Trump did something foul to black people.
That was because of liberals capitalizing and etching us out of a policy that was supposed to help us. So,
do you have? Is there any evidence that the majority of people who invested in opportunity zones were liberal at all? Is there any research that suggests
because
that?
Of the neighborhood. When you look at these neighborhoods, these are liberal white people who are gentrified.
Do you have any evidence? Are there any studies that prove that?
You go into these Republican white people ain't going into black neighborhoods like that.
Okay.
When you go to black neighborhoods and you see white people jogging around, that's the first sign of gentrification.
Okay.
I have a business in South Central LA.
I know.
We see white people jogging around all the time. These are not Republicans.
Okay.
These are white liberals.
Right.
They come around. Those are the ones who come around. They'll hang out. They'll go to your establishments. They're very liberal. That's what makes them liberal. They're like, hey, let me see what the blacks got going on.
All right. So I mean, I'll accept the anecdote. The other thing that he did at that point was when it came towards HUD, Obama had created some sort of some policies that literally fought against discrimination from black people moving into white neighborhoods, and Trump rolled those things back. That would be another policy that harms black people.
What? Wait. What policy did Barack Obama put together for black people?
No, I'm not saying it. He put together an anti-discrimination policy. The reason why I would not say that it's for black,
that was for LGBT. Let's stop it, brother.
No, it was about racial. No. The policy was about racial bias. That's what the policy was about.
Dude, and I can almost guarantee it tacked on LGBT. Obama's whole thing was using racial animosity towards us to compare that to the LGBT community. That's why they had that James Byrd, Matthew Shepard stuff going on. Everything they have to tack it on to us. So they'll put a policy together talking about, well, discrimination is bad for all people, including LGBT. So I can almost guarantee that was some kind of LGBT policy that they would put.
You have no idea about the policy, but you're assured that it's about LGBTQ, and you're wrong. It had nothing to do with it. The policy specifically said that if you were receiving federal funding for any type of public housing, that you had to look for patterns of segregation or discrimination. That's all that the policy said. Now you're making it about LGBTQ when it was originally about racial bias.
No, it didn't say race. No. That racial bias and other forms of discrimination, dude. I read all of Obama's
Okay,
policies.
so racial bias and other forms of discrimination. So then obviously if Trump repeals that, then obviously that's going to negatively impact black people. But go ahead and defend Trump on that one. You feel like that wasn't problematic at all?
Because the thing is, Obama wasn't doing it for us. They wasn't doing it for us anyway. They were doing that for the LGBT community.
Okay.
That's why a lot of those policies that Obama put together, none of that stuff was really for us. That stuff didn't really benefit us. That was benefiting LGBT and immigrant groups, just like with the Voting Rights Act. They sat up here and say, well, black people, they're making it hard for black people to vote. You got to have an ID, and a lot of black people can't get no ID. Like, we're scratching our heads like, what the hell are they talking about? All of us got IDs. It's not hard for us to get an ID. And they were saying that because they were really trying to get immigrants to vote without having a damn ID. You see, they try to use us as the Trojan horse to bring in other groups. And some of these other folks call that out, and I have no problem with them calling it out because their stuff is not meant for us anyway.
Okay, when Trump made the statement that he specifically wanted to allow for immunity for police officers, he wanted to pass a law to allow for
And
immunity for police officers. Now, we already obviously understand that qualified immunity already exists for police officers. So, since qualified immunity already exists for police officers, then that means when Trump says that he wants to pass a law for immunity for officers, that means he wants to expand it in some variety. Do you feel like that was an appropriate thing, and do you feel like that would
Obama
hold
did
on,
it
wait,
already.
Obama?
Obama
Just let me ask you the question. Ask the question.
Obama
Do
did
you
it
feel
already.
like that would be negatively impactful for Black Americans?
Obama, no, it's already here. It's already here already. He's just honest about it.
So hold on.
He's
He said he
not
wants to
saying
expand it. He wants to
he's just
expand it.
how much can you expand it?
Well, what he wants to do is he wants to.
How much can you
I'm explaining. I'm answering the question. The way you
I gotta hear
okay,
this. Go
good.
ahead.
So the way you would expand it right now, qualified immunity means that right now that you have to be able to prove that you were acting within within the capacity of your job description, and at that point, then you can have qualified immunity. That's the qualification. You have to have been acting within the capacity of your job. Well, if you expand immunity, then what Trump just said is he wants to give total immunity, and then paralleled it towards like presidential immunity, saying that these people can't do their jobs because they don't have enough immunity. So then that means the fact that he's saying he needs to pass something which you acknowledge is already here, which would be qualified immunity, means that he's talking about an expansion. He's talking about something else. And so obviously,
Okay.
then that
That's
would be
word salad. That's
that's
word
word
salad.
salad. Okay, let me say it
Okay, that's
succinctly.
word salad.
Let me
What
say
you
it
word
succinctly
salad. Okay.
then. Let me say it
Oh, no,
succinctly.
no, 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 no. Because what you're doing is word salad.
Word salad. Come on, man.
Obama, Obama already Obama already set that precedent. Obama signed the blue law to protect police. That's why under Obama, under his administration,
Qualified
him and
immunity existed before Obama.
that's what I'm saying, and
So
he
what do you mean that he?
expanded it. That's what I'm saying with the blue law. When listen, I was out in the streets during the Freddie Gray protests and Mike Brown and all of these things when black people were being slaughtered under Obama. Instead of giving us protection, instead of prosecuting some of these race soldiers and white supremacists, Obama prosecuted nobody. His administration didn't prosecute anybody. Instead, he signed the blue law that helped and protected more police. So they've already solidified that. That's why Biden and Kamala, they're not prosecuting race soldiers for harming us. And that George Floyd Policing Act, that's another can that they kick down the road that they won't even get passed. So they're already doing that whole thing
Sure.
with immunity, sir. But anyway, thank you so much. Let me get some more calls. I've been on here on that. Thank you so much, brother. Okay, because the word salad is killing me. Oh goodness, Jake, real hop on, Jake. God, boy, the word salad.
Peace and blessings to you, Tariq. Shout out to you for helping our people fight this genocide, ethnocide that
Right.
we're going through, and gatekeeping our culture because we're the most exploited and we're the best creators. You know,
Yes.
this individual right here is definitely uh, he's all over the place. And I've been looking through his timeline, and he appeared to be a Democratic shill because he's coming with all the talking points. And at the same time, it seemed as if he'd been studying us and been in our spaces and tried to evolve himself to even speak to us as long as he's spoken to us. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I could tell through the words and the language that he used that he'd been studying us.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so this ain't about Trump. You spot on. Trump never did any bills or passed any policies that hurted black people.
Mm-hmm.
And since the 1800s, foreigners coming into this country always harmed black people
Yeah.
from the Irish to the Italians to the Jamaicans to the Africans to the Puerto Ricans, and now we're to this present day we're dealing with Latin America.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a problem. These
Yes, indeed.
individuals got to go. They got to get up out our neighborhoods. And anybody who's for the Democrats is an enemy to Black Americans, because the Democrats has shown and proven throughout the years that they're enemies to Black Americans. I'm glad
Yep.
that our people is finally waking up, because if you look at even down to the Civil War, down to Jim Crow, down to getting our fathers about our house, it was always the Democrats that did things underhandedly. Malcolm X spoke on this a long time ago, how sneaky and conniving the Democrats are. And then on top of that, when it comes to being conservative, not a Republican, but just being conservative with the belief in God, moral values, and you know, not the same sex relationships. And I mean, this country is going to hell based on.
Real. Okay, I got to land your plane because I got to get some more calls. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. And I want to make my point, because a lot of people, when it comes to Trump and Kamala, people got valid points on both sides. Again, a lot of people are leaning, Black people are leaning towards Trump, and people are like, oh, the Central Park Five and all of that. Listen, and again, I'm for right now, I'm still voting for the couch for right now, until I get a real policy that's going to make me say, hey, let me go over here to this side. I want a specific proactive, because, okay, you're not doing anything to harm us, which is good, but I want something proactive. Give me something proactive to vote for. That's what I'm looking at. And when we look at the candidates that we got Kamala and we got Trump. Some people will say, well, both candidates are crap. Okay, wouldn't argue with that. It's a valid point. We're going to get crap with either one, but there's levels to crap. Okay, let's be very clear. If you say, hey, both candidates are shit, there's levels to shit. All right, I want y'all to understand, what type of shit do you want? If we're going to get some shit, if listen, look at it like this. Sometimes you got to take a crap. Sometimes the crap is going to be a turd, and then sometimes it's going to be diarrhea. Trump is the turd and Kamala's diarrhea. All right? Look at it like that. Just a regular turd. It plops down. Bam, it's right there. This big pile. You clean it up. It's pretty easy to clean up. Clean it up, wash it away, and the smell might be there a little bit, but smell goes away. You clean it up and dispose of it. But diarrhea, it's all over the place. It's running down your leg. It's getting on your clothes. It's dripping. It's all over the toilet. Diarrhea leaves a mess. It leaves a huge mess. And that's what Kamala is. She's diarrhea. Kamala's a mess. You understand what I'm saying? And she's going to leave a mess. She's a train wreck. And that's going to be hard to clean up. You understand? Trump has already been in office before. We didn't really get too much. We didn't get nothing, but we didn't get harmed. You know, we got a big dumping, but we didn't get harmed under Trump. Right now, under Kamala, we got diarrhea on our clothes. Look at the immigration problem. Family, look at Chicago, New York, Black folks complaining about these immigration situations. Colorado, these immigrant gangs taking over apartment complexes. California, our tax dollars being given to immigrants for housing while they're crapping on our reparations. We're getting diarrhea right now. We're getting a whole wet, sloppy mess. You understand what I'm saying? Right now, under Biden and Kamala. Let's keep it a buck. Yeah. So there's levels to crap now. And I don't like voting for the lesser of two evils. That's why I'm saying I need to get a proactive policy. We need a proactive policy out here. Let me get Dr. Brenda. Let's get Dr. Brenda in the building. Miss Brenda, hop on. Dr. Brenda, may you turn your microphone on, ma'am. Dr. Brenda, you want to turn your microphone on?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. How are you, Dr. Brenda?
Oh, hi, how are you? Nice to finally speak with you. What about the third parties? What are they offering? Let's start there.
Yeah, we would like to see what they're talking about. I know Jill Stein, I think she was talking about reparations, but I know my thing with her, the guy who was her running as her VP a couple of years ago, he's been on some Pan African, all black folks need to get reparations around the world, that type of thing. And that kind of threw me off. And Cornell West, um, I think he's talking about reparations, but then
Yes,
again,
yes, he is.
yes, indeed. But I think it gets into a poor people thing, that all poor people might need to get it. So I don't know the angle he's coming from. But I love Cornell West, by the way. But so I don't know about the third party people. I don't know. I haven't seen one that really, really stepped up to the plate and said, "Hey, this is what we need to do to get tangibles for foundational Black Americans." What's your thoughts on that, Dr. Brenda?
I think Cornel West is on point about how wars, even though they're external United States, how it just bleed over here into the United States. It's not just the immigrants. War does the same thing,
Yeah.
you know? And he's trying to come that angle, but he preached more about wars. But I like that angle. How is that being presented? I'm a Trump supporter. I'm a
Oh,
member of the Trump team. Believe it or
oh,
not, I'm
oh,
a official. I'm an official
wow.
member of the Trump team.
Oh,
But
okay.
I think, I think President Trump has too much baggage right now to be president.
Mm.
It's too much. It's too much for the nation to handle all that, and then all that the presidency brings. And he has gotten older since he's been in office too. Now Kamala the Harris, I just think that's just a joke in and of itself.
Yeah.
Now I believe she is black. I think she's black just because the skin tone of her father, but just her in general. Now I interacted with her twice in my life. She got something done, but she just did that because she don't remember the Trump team. See that don't
Mm.
pan out with me. But that's my second question that I want to ask you. In terms of reparations, can we go about it getting chunks at a time, just like for the veterans, reparations for the veterans?
Well,
I
yeah,
want
that's different. Well, that's the thing. That's different from reparations for slavery. See,
that is different. That is different. I understand that, but how likely is they going to give us reparations for all of us?
if we stand on business, it's going to be very likely. We got to stop letting these people intimidate us because we can get reparations. All we got to do is continue to stand on business. We can make these people do whatever we're supposed to get from them and make them give it up because this is money that's owed to us. We got to stop being scared when we get some pushback from these people. That's something that's owed. And when we talk about reparations, we can't let the word reparations be a catch-all for, well, reparations for veterans. Reparations for people who had lead poisoning. No, no, no. Because they try to play with the word reparations. We're talking about reparations for slavery.
Correct.
Slave for foundational Black Americans. Now, if we want to do something for veterans, let's call that something else and make it something else. But when we're talking about reparations, we mean for slavery in America that happened to foundational Black Americans and the descendants of freedmen. We got to be very specific with the language and not let them move the goalposts because they tried to do that in one of those that place in Illinois. They were trying to say reparations was some kind of housing voucher where there was some kind of damn near lottery where they were going to give people some discounts on housing and call that reparations. No. See, when we start all that, well, let's make reparations free pit bulls for everybody. Okay, everybody need a pit bull. No, 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 no. We're not about to start redefining what reparations is. Reparations for slavery that happened to foundational Black Americans. We're going to be very clear about that. All right. But we got a lot of people in here. Shout out to everybody in the building. Hey, yo, by the way, the new album, Grinding for a Green Card, y'all can pre-order it right now on iTunes. How many of y'all got iTunes? I know some of y'all got the Samsungs. Um, but go to iTunes and type in Grinding for a Green Card by my group Flextro. That album, you can pre-order it now. Grinding for a Green Card. People love the single. The single is a bop. And actually, you can actually get the single on iTunes now. You can actually get the single. You can get that single, and you can get Musty Tether on iTunes now. But the whole album, Grinding for a Green Card, pre-order it now on iTunes. If you have iTunes, just go to iTunes and type in Flextro or Grinding for a Green Card, and you'll see the album. And just pre-order it. And the album is going to be out officially next week, but you pre-order it now. Got some bangers on it. We got hit songs like Musty Tether, got a song called Bush Meat, a song called Cake Soap Love, um, got a song called Your Feet Are So Ashy. That's for them Somali tethers. One of my favorites, Forehead Forever. That's a beautiful song. Beautiful. Yeah, the songs are bangers. Um, go look at the song list. And we got a song called we got little Afro beats on there. It's a song called Cry to You Niggas, spelled Neegas. It's a nice little Afro beats thing. And the song that we did a couple of years ago, The Government, that's on there too. Because a lot of people had been wanting that on the streaming platform. So we got The Government. So it's a banging album. It's a banging album. We got another cut called Janky Hairline. That one's a banger. Another dance track called Crooked Wig. Great songs on this album. Phenomenal songs on the album. But the Grinding for a Green Card, that's a banger. People really love that one. And one of my favorites is Cake Soap Love. That's a nice little mellow track. Um, Cake Soap Love is Cake Soap Love is beautiful. So it's beautiful songs on there. So y'all got to go to iTunes and check that out. All right, let me get up out of here, man. Look, in a couple of weeks, we got an event at the Hidden History Museum. We got the September Soul Saturday. We're going to be vibing, networking. Y'all come on out and network and chop it up. Y'all need to be around like-minded people. We got great food, great drinks, and we're just going to be vibing. We got to network more, man. It's very important that we get with like-minded people and brothers and sisters who are on the same page and just know who's who and who's where so we can vibe and network. I love networking with the family because we never know when we need somebody's services. I like to see people who's doing business, people who are into different careers so that when we need certain things, we can holler at you and utilize your services, man. And it's very important that we network so we can know who's who. I always meet very interesting people when we do our events. Always, I meet people who are like private investigators, and I know people who are caterers. We meet people who are doctors, people who are into real estate, people who are interior decorators. Just so many things that we could utilize. We just need to know who's who and where you are. So I like having these events so that people can come down and we can just network and vibe. So y'all definitely need to come on out and chop it up so we can know who's who. And if we need each other, we know who to contact. So we got to start having more events. I'm going to start getting more proactive with that in the near future, just around the country, where we network with each other and get like-minded people and business people. And we're going to have to start having seminars and just really get this thing popping, man. Because when we have situations like we're having out here in California with them playing in our face about the reparations thing, we need to know who's who in the cities. We need to know who's who in the state, some of the like minded brothers and sisters who we can call up and say, hey, brother, I met you at Tariq's event. We going up here to the Capitol, man, to go holler at these politicians, man. We need you to roll through, and we need you to call 10, 15, 20 more people to get them to call 10, 15, 20 more people so we can roll up here. We need that kind of energy, family. We need that kind of vibe. And, we need people on the inside. That's another thing, because we do meet a lot of people when they come to our events. We got a lot of politicians. We even got judges who come to the events that we're cool with. So we need that type of thing. We need to continue that and make that a normal thing, that we have brothers and sisters that we network with, because it's very important to be around people, man, who's on a right vibe. Because, man, the people you hang around, man, that's going to be a reflection of your mindset. And a lot of times, man, it's hard to hang with people that's on the right page. You're around your janky ass relatives. Let's keep it a buck. Sometimes you're around your janky ass relatives, or you got some of your childhood buddies who might not be on the same page that you are, but they're your childhood buddies. So they might be on some bullshit, and you might be on something different. But you need to be around, man. It's very important to be around a group of like-minded people, um, people with their stuff together, people who are thinking progressively, so that y'all can build. You understand? So we got to start building and just having it together. So that's what I'm on now, man. I'm on just being around just like-minded people where we're growing. That's why the delineation thing is very important. That's why delineation is important. A lot of people like, oh, you niggas are divisive. No, no. And when I say delineation, I don't mean just kind of kicking everybody who's non-FBA to the curb, because we got a lot of brothers and sisters who support what we do, and they are riders. And we still welcome you. Look, when we do our events, man, we got brothers and sisters from, they come from all over, people from different backgrounds, and they're still supportive, which is good. We want, if you, even if you're not FBA, and if you still support empowerment and you're not trying to thwart what we got going on, come on down. If you want to be a real ally, come on down. Now, some of these little undercover secret tethers, you stay your ass back. We don't want that. We don't want people coming around trying to sabotage what we do, because I'm looking at some of these little coalitions that the state has assembled, especially when it comes to this reparations thing out here, and we're looking at some of these names on some of these panels of people controlling what's going on with our reparations money. And some of these names ain't FBA. You see what I'm saying? Some of these names got a little Bammy and Goya powder on them, but they got melanated faces. That's why this whole thing where, well, Kamala's, she might not be FBA, but she black, that ain't working. That ain't cutting it, because you got people who ain't from our lineage, who's melanated, who's technically black, quote unquote, but they ain't from our lineage, and they're not going to stomp down and make sure our lineage is getting the justice that we're supposed to get. So your blackness outside of foundational Black American lineage, to me, it's inconsequential if you ain't really stomping the yard for us. For real, that's inconsequential. And Kamala Harris ain't stomping for us. So arguing about her blackness outside of FBA lineage, I don't give a damn. She ain't stomping for us, and she ain't from our lineage. The gate is closed and locked. As far as I'm concerned, I don't really give a damn what she has to say at this point, unless she's gonna say, "Hey, I done made a 360, and I'm trying to get those tangibles." And unless she's saying that, I don't want to hear none of her drunk, mammy Hindu babble. You understand? So I say all that to say it's very important that we network with like-minded people, so we ain't gotta depend on the Kamamis and all of these weird people to misrepresent us and our lineage. You see? But anyway, man, y'all go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com, hiddenhistorymuseum.com, to learn more information about our event coming up in a few weeks. All right. And I'm up out of here, man. I'm good. Y'all be good. Much love to you guys. Papi Akute, Lulavuve to the family.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tariq Nasheed. I'm out here at the Hidden History Museum here in Los Angeles, and I want to invite you to the September Soul Saturday event that we're having here at the Hidden History Museum. We're going to have a lot of phenomenal comedians. We're going to have complimentary food, complimentary drinks, great music, great mingling, great networking. So I want to see you here. Join me here, 2131 West Jefferson Boulevard in Los Angeles, September 14th, 2024, 7 p.m. Come on and vibe out. For more information and to get your tickets, go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com. We'll see you here.